KATC Weather Lab. Here's Rob's forecast.
Welcome back. Well, after a dry period and a beautiful weekend forecast, things have changed certainly for this Monday. Kind of a dreary Monday, but you know what they say about rainy days and Mondays, they always get you down. Well, they energize us here in the Weather Lab as we get to see stuff on the radar, and we'll get to that in just a bit. First off, though, Justin Terro getting our weather shot today, a little slow-mo on the rain. And I believe you can hear some of the gnat sound on here as well. And some much needed rainfall. It's been dry, it's been dusty, although we're not in a drought status. We certainly have been quite dry for the latter part of September into the first week or so of October. So some much needed rainfall, we'll take it, but you got to be careful in the rain. Slow down with the cars, please. As we go kick it upstairs, take a look at the water vapor imagery. We got this big fat ridge of high pressure dominating much of the Gulf of Mexico, but around the periphery of that ridge, as we look at the upper levels, we're pulling tropical moisture that's coming out of the Pacific, moving across Mexico, and that's going to keep us wet through tomorrow. On and off disturbances that we really can't detect because they're coming from the Pacific and across a data poor area here in Mexico. So every little bit shower blow up is a little bit of a surprise on where things are developing. And this afternoon, some very heavy rainfall earlier today across eastern Texas, where more than 5 inches of rain fell, several across central Louisiana. And then Acadiana got its turn late this afternoon with a good scattering of showers and thunder showers moving across the area. Most of the rain in Lafayette Parish confined to just south of the airport, down through the Youngsville, Broussard area, over towards St. Martinville as we get into upper St. Martin Parish, then down into Iberia Parish. Scattered activity all the way down through St. Mary, and it looks like this activity will continue for a little while longer into the evening hours, so keep the rain gear ready and the windshield wipers going. So as we open it up into the tropics, still a little news to talk about in the tropics. A little bit of a disturbance out here in the central Atlantic. Another one that's become a new tropical depression. Number 15 should become Tropical Storm Nestor, but it's going to stay on the other side of the Atlantic, so we'll dispense with any storm tracking there. And then we have plenty of moisture in around Central America. We have this large gyre of moisture that is typical, especially this time of year, down in the Pacific and into the Atlantic, the Western Caribbean. Part of it is probably going to develop into a tropical depression or storm. Lesser chance of something development here, but some moisture that's all the way down through the Gulf of Honduras is going to work its way toward the Gulf of Mexico. And this is going to be the area we'll keep an eye on. Even though it's a low chance of development, the moisture is going to be moving into the western Gulf and then eventually heading toward the north central and northeastern Gulf of Mexico. And there's probably going to be an area of low pressure here. We'll kind of forego the actual surface pressure maps, but there's going to be some locally heavy rainfall for portions of the Gulf of Mexico, and things begin to quiet down Sunday with drier air moving in next week and a nice cool front as we get into the middle part of next week. That's one of 2 cool fronts we have in the 10-day forecast. So here's the 3-kilometer NAM model. It quiets down through tomorrow morning, but there will be scattered activity, and we think there's going to be a lot more showing up here. This is kind of the way the model looked yesterday, and we had a lot more coverage across the area. So we'll go with rain chance 50 to 60%, and then we'll be watching that frontal boundary that's going to be making a run midnight tomorrow night. Then we get into Wednesday morning, scattered showers, maybe some rumbles of thunder early Wednesday, but that's going to be followed by breezy and cooler weather. And notice the temperatures around noon in the low to mid 60s. We may stay in the 60s for Wednesday afternoon, but a little sunshine may push it up to the lower 70s. So that's in the forecast. On and off scattered activity tomorrow, early Wednesday, and then a couple of nice days in between, and then moisture returning this weekend with that tropical moisture coming up through the Gulf of Mexico. No major issues anticipated at this point, although we could see some wet weather for portions of the Rice Festival out in Crowley, and then another front arrives a week from today.
All right, thanks, Rob.